In a season when Ghana is redefining its priorities and rebuilding trust in public institutions, a decisive move from the new administration has sparked both national debate and renewed confidence in the country's leadership. It is a story that blends politics, tragedy, financial prudence, and the unspoken responsibilities of a nation determined to protect its leaders without burdening its citizens. And at the center of this unfolding narrative is a single decision. Before we dive deeper into today's update, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is key to helping us grow and reach more viewers like you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on exciting updates. Ghana's plan to finally acquire its own state-of-the-art presidential jet. What might seem like a routine procurement is, in truth, a dramatic turning point in how Ghana approaches national security, fiscal responsibility, and the legacy of governance. When Deputy Finance Minister Andrew Julius Opoku stepped into the studios of Class FM on the morning of November 21st, 2025, he knew he was walking into a storm of public skepticism. For years, Ghanaians have questioned why a developing nation should invest in something as symbolic and often misunderstood as a presidential aircraft. But Opoku's calm explanations, backed by numbers and historical facts, revealed a perspective many had overlooked. The previous government's heavy dependence on rented luxury jets, sometimes costing over $15,000 an hour, had drained state resources in ways that were both shocking and unsustainable. Between 2021 and 2024 alone, Ghana spent more than $10 million on external flights, money that did not contribute to ownership, security, or long-term benefits. It was money that disappeared into the pockets of global charter companies, leaving nothing tangible behind. But beyond the economics lies a deeper, more urgent truth. Just a few months before this announcement, in August 2025, the nation was shaken by a tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 8 prominent individuals. Among them was Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omane Boamah, a man whose commitment to Ghana's security was unquestionable. The crash, caused partly by aging equipment and inadequate safety conditions, exposed a vulnerability that Ghanaians had long sensed but rarely discussed openly. The country's executive fleet had become dangerously outdated. These were aircraft meant to protect leaders, support emergency missions, and respond to national crises. Yet they had fallen into disrepair, forcing presidential teams to rely on the unpredictable mercy of rentals and borrowed machinery. The crash was not just a technical failure, it was a national warning. So when the Mahama administration decided that enough was enough, the move was not wrapped in luxury or political vanity. It was wrapped in urgency, prudence, and the understanding that the safety of national leaders cannot be left to chance. The proposed $50 to $60 million cost of the presidential jet, as the Deputy Finance Minister pointed out, is not an extravagance when measured against the tens of millions already lost through short-term rentals. Ghana had become a tenant in the skies, paying premium rates for temporary comfort while neglecting the long-term infrastructure needed for its own stability. This time, the administration wants to flip the script. Instead of renting prestige, Ghana will own responsibility. What makes this development even more striking is the tone of humility surrounding it. Opoku made a point that caught the attention of listeners nationwide. President Mahama himself may never step foot inside this new jet. With the procurement process taking time and delivery phases stretching into 2026, the aircraft will arrive after Mahama's constitutionally final term ends. The jet, in essence, is not for him. It is for Ghana's future presidents, future emergencies, and future missions. It is a legacy project, not a personal convenience. In the world of African politics, where leaders are often accused of prioritizing comfort over country, this detail changed the narrative instantly. The procurement will go through Parliament, where every detail from cost breakdowns to supplier transparency will be examined. That step is crucial because the shadow of the past still lingers. Under the previous administration, taxpayers repeatedly funded flights on aircraft like the ultra-luxurious Airbus ACJ320neo, famously criticized by MP Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa as a luxury monster. These were planes outfitted with bedrooms, private lounges, and conference suites more lavish than many hotels. And while Ghana paid premium rates for these temporary indulgences, the country's own Falcon 900B jet sat grounded due to frequent breakdowns. For a nation striving to position itself as a regional hub of stability, the optics were poor and the expenses were worse. This time, however, the story takes a different trajectory. The new jet is not intended to be a flying palace. It is expected to incorporate multi-role capabilities, from VIP transport to urgent national operations such as medical evacuations or rapid deployment missions. It will prioritize safety above spectacle, practicality above prestige, and it will form part of a broader restructuring of Ghana's executive and military aviation capacity. Alongside the jet, the government is also budgeting for 4 new helicopters, a direct response to the fatal crash that exposed the dangers of relying on aged aircraft. These long and medium-range helicopters will replace the old fleet, some of which have served far beyond their intended years. Their phased arrival will begin in 2026, fortifying Ghana's resilience in ways that go beyond presidential travel. But as with any bold decision, public reactions have been mixed. Many citizens, including security analysts and policy experts, see this as a necessary reset, an overdue investment that will save millions of cedis in the long term and provide the nation with the safety infrastructure it desperately needs. Others, particularly from opposition circles, argue that the timing feels off. With the economy still recovering from global shocks and inflationary pressures, the concern is whether such an investment should be prioritized now. These debates, though intense, are part of the democratic fabric that keeps Ghana accountable. They remind leaders that every cedi spent must justify itself not only on paper, but in the hearts of ordinary Ghanaians. Yet as the discussion deepens, one truth keeps rising to the surface. Ghana cannot afford another aviation disaster involving its top officials. The memory of the August crash is still too fresh, the wounds too deep. When leaders are at risk, the nation is at risk. Governance does not pause simply because equipment has grown old. The work must continue, and the machinery must be safe enough to support it. For decades, Ghana has aspired to take control of its own skies, to build a fleet that reflects not extravagance, but sovereignty. And now, at a moment when the nation is rewriting the rules of fiscal discipline, cutting waste, auditing public spending, and pursuing value for money, the decision to purchase a permanent, reliable aircraft becomes more than a procurement. It becomes a symbol of maturity, of responsibility, of the understanding that long-term national assets matter more than short-term political optics. If aviation experts are correct, this new aircraft may serve Ghana for the next 20 to 30 years. That is not just a fleet upgrade. It is a generational investment, one that will continue to protect future presidents, future ministers, and future missions long after today's debates fade into history. And perhaps that is the ultimate lesson. Leadership is not only about solving today's problems, it is also about planting seeds for a future one may never see. In choosing ownership over rental, safety over spectacle, and legacy over convenience, Ghana is making a statement that resonates far beyond politics. It is declaring that the nation's security and fiscal stability are worth the upfront price, and that the value of a single saved life outweighs the cost of any aircraft. In the end, the question is not whether Ghana can afford this jet. The real question is whether Ghana can afford not to have it.
If today is your first time watching this channel or you are returning to this channel for the exciting content, please subscribe to the channel for more educative and developmental projects across Ghana and Africa as a whole. Do you want to know about the state of a project in Africa? Then make sure to like and comment the name of the project you would like us to talk about and its current state.